Just a car, getting you from one point to another, with a few mesmerized about owning a certain brand. But that's just it. Rarely will you find a love for cars so deep that you open up your garage to fabricate cars. In this case, it's not just any cars, but Landrovers. Ruth Mulandi reports of a 20-year-old John Mark who turned his passion and love for a particular brand into a business. Take a look.
When manufacturers of world-renowned British car Landrovers stopped its production in 2016, many Kenyans wrote off the make and reverted to other car models to try and compensate for their quote-unquote loss. But not everyone gave up hope on the once-upon-a-time infamous vehicle in the local market, oftenly used by the military, police and government officers. Meet 28-year-old John Mark, a passionate lover for the Land Rover vehicle model, a love that started way back in his childhood, a love of great memories that led him here today.
For me, a Land Rover was my dad coming home. My dad used to be dropped by a 300 TDI. So you see, these are very sentimental vehicles. So anyone who has a Land Rover at home is not willing to sell. So I advise you, let's rebuild them. Let's bring those memories back to life.
And indeed, keeping those memories is what the 28-year-old thrives to do every day. John Mark started his garage back in 2020 after getting his first Land Rover while just in campus, when he realized that there was a demand for refurbished Land Rovers that gathered dust in many homesteads.
Started saving when I was in first year, second year. So every month I'd save like 10,000, 20,000, 15,000. Till I got to about 300,000, went and bought it was actually a Batuk pickup. So it was a 3-year process. It was costly for me since I was just fresh out of uni. But then I realized there's so many people in this industry that take advantage. So I learned the car, learned the whole process. By the time I was getting to know more about the car, they stopped production.
The accountant by profession took his time to study the car and on his own learned how to refurbish it the best way possible, and quickly set up shop in Nyeri, where he says is quite convenient for him.
The accessibility of parts from Nyanyuki, Isiolo, also the spaces here are quite cheaper than being in Nairobi. So in 5 years, we're hoping to build enough capital base, start a proper Land Rover movement, bring into as many guys we can get into, and rehabilitate 200 vehicles in 5 years and have another base in Nairobi.
Just like most businesses, his too has been hit by the COVID-19 pandemic, but he's optimistic that the future is bright, with his business all set up now and ready to enter vehicle-based competitions like the Rhino Charge to showcase his work and the power of the vehicle. Ruth Mulandi, TV47.
Well done, Ruth Mulandi. Now a family in Kagira, village of